Hi, everyone. We're going to get started shortly. I'm waiting for everyone to join, and then I'll give a brief intro in a minute. All right, so let's get started. Thank you all so much for taking the time to attend, and our apologies again for the unexpected technical mishap last week. We're very excited to welcome Scott Callahan, med spa owner and operator out of Connecticut, to talk about how his partnership with Venus Concept has helped him succeed and grow his medical spa business. Scott is an 18-year trained plastic surgery physician assistant with a focus on non-invasive body contouring, filler expertise, and regenerative medicine. He was involved in early studies for the Venus Freeze, Venus Legacy, and Venus Viva. He founded Dolce Vida Medical Spa in 2010 with the primary goal of helping people maintain a vibrant, youthful appearance. He now owns and operates 3 Dolce Vida med spas across Connecticut. Today, he'll be covering 3 Venus Concept devices, the Venus Velocity, Venus Freeze Plus, and Venus Glow. Before I pass it on to Scott, if you guys have any questions for him, please type them, and we'll spend the last 15 to 20 minutes going through your questions. If we run out of time, I'll make sure to follow up with you, next week by email. We have your emails. All right, so without further ado, Scott, thank you so much for being with us, and please take it away.
Thank you, Sharif. Thank you for the participants of joining. I know that there's a lot of things that we could all be doing, but I hope to really shed some data and education about these technologies, which I think are really exciting. Today, we're going to be speaking about the Venus Velocity, the Venus Freeze Plus, the Venus Glow. And these devices are really, I would say, game changers for my med spa. And I'm happy to share some of my experience with the company over the last several years. So we'll go to the next slide. And let's talk first about the Venus Velocity, the most profitable hair removal solution. So hair removal, of course, is always has a high annual growth rate of 25%. As you can see, it's the most in-demand non-surgical energy-based treatment among both men and women. $281 million spent on hair removal, and 87% of those treated patients were women. But as you can see there, the male segment is growing rapidly, 23% increase in male share in 2018. And I know that with my own med spa, that's one of the largest populations that I'm trying to grow every day. The Venus Velocity is just a wonderful device. I'm going to first play this video for you guys so you can see some of the fun features of it. Right. Okay, so let's start and begin talking about the science behind the velocity. So the specific wavelengths have specific absorption coefficients per chromophore and absorbed according by the targets in the tissue. The venous velocity is emitting a light at a wavelength of 800 nanometers, which is highly absorbed by melanin. As you can see in the graph, melanin is present in the hair shaft. It serves as the target in hair removal treatments. And there is a high absorption of melanin that ensures a selective and effective hair removal treatment. Melanin is present in both hair shafts and upper third of the follicular epithelium. The heat generated by the hair shaft diffuses to the epithelium to cause the damage. The heat extends to the bulge area where the stem cells are generated into the dermal papilla. By targeting the stem cells within the bulb, and the dermal papilla, the venous velocity achieves the effective long-term hair reduction that the patients are seeking. In the hair growth cycles, many times people ask, well, what's the cycle in which you have best long-term hair reduction? As you can see, due to the hair follicle composition and the attachment to the dermal papilla, the maximum impact from the heat occurs during the anagen phase of the hair growth cycle. The heat impact to the depth of the hair follicle during the anagen phase will achieve the long-term hair reduction. The venous velocity, what's so neat about it, it has this revolutionary real-time cooling system. It's basically measuring the light guide temperature frequently. This feedback is providing the signals to increase the cooling as needed. And it's very robust while maintaining the temperatures. Discomfort. There's no need to wait for the applicator to cool down, even at the highest working load, increasing patient compliance, satisfaction, and demand. With that wavelength of 800 nanometers and the real-time cooling system, the velocity provides the optimal balance between the high energy absorption of the melanoma chromophores and the deep penetration of the skin, making it safe and effective for all skin types, including tan skin. The combination of the high peak power, the 2400 watts, enables the high fluencies and the short pulse durations, overall enabling the safe and efficient hair removal. The high power enables the high energy and shorter pulse duration in the pulse mode, and the lower energy delivers and intensive cooling with heat accumulation enables the safe and efficient treatments in the slide mode. And these are the two modes that the velocity has, the slide and the pulse. So as you see the applicators, there are 3 different applicators, and they also have an ergonomic handle. There's a 7 centimeter square tip, a 3.5 centimeter square tip, and a 1.7 centimeter square tip, what they call a large, medium, and small. The large spot size and the high reputation rate includes that higher coverage. This is a perfect handpiece to use for large areas such as the back, such as the leg. The medium can be used more in areas such as an underarm or a bikini, and the small handpiece used for an upper lip, chin, sideburns. Before we move on to the slide, I can say that this applicator is really easy to hold. It's very easy to control. The applicators all interchange very quickly within the machine, and using these applicators, especially the large handpiece, you're able to cover such large areas in such a short period of time. A large back could take anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. Bikini and underarms could take less than 5 or 10 minutes. It's very, very quick, and the patients love that cooling system that provides the protection and the safety that allows the patients to just get through it very comfortably without experiencing any type of pain, and they're very happy to come back and there's more compliance. So here are our 2 modes of operation that we spoke of earlier. The pulse mode, which delivers the high energy to tissue at a lower repetition rate, resulting in a higher clinical efficiency and fewer treatment sessions. And a slide mode, where the applicator is continuously moving over the treatment area, delivering that high repetition rate of short pulses, which achieves the higher average power with full coverage and greater patient comfort. So sometimes with our patients, if we're looking to do a bikini and we're looking to do an area that's resistant where the hair is not reducing, we go into that pulse mode for that, that stronger, energy and more efficiency into the area. If we're treating a back or we're treating legs, like I said, we'll use that slide mode. You're trying to treat a larger area and keep it comfortable. So as you can see in the slides here, on the left slide, we're looking at a before in the pulse mode and the slide mode. And then on the right slide, you're seeing after treatments. And as you can see with the pulse mode, there's a 23% decrease in the hair count. But in the slide mode, 21% decrease in hair count, meaning there's not much of a difference in terms of the clinical efficiency between those two handpieces. So, and the advantages of a diode over an alexandrite or a YAG is that this is a more stable technology. There's less parts. Solid-state lasers use expensive flash lamps that require placing. Also, the solid-state lasers heat up quickly, requiring more aggressive cooling systems, which use a lot of electricity, is prone to failure, lower maintenance and running costs. And as you see, diode lasers are 10 times more efficient optically and electrically. So, with our device, we know that when we turn that device on, we can use it quickly. We know it's going to work. We know it's going to fire. We're not sitting there waiting for it to cool up like other devices. And it's very, very efficient. Okay. So, in terms of some descriptions here, again, so you have the newest 800 nanometer diode laser for the hair removal, right? That permanent hair reduction in the treatment, right? You have the two modes of operation, the slide and the pulse, with the 3 changeable spot sizes, and the ergonomic applicator, right? You have that very, very ultra-fast treatment of the quick replication rate up to 10 hertz, which is large spot size of 7 centimeters, and a slide mode leading to that higher coverage rate. And safety, where, again, you can treat on all skin types, Fitzpatrick type 1 through 6, as well as tan skin, with revolutionary real-time cooling systems and slide modes. And this is a very, very profitable hair removal system. As you can see, there's a positive return, unique business model, affordable price, long warranty, no disposables, and the Internet of Things integration. So imagine you have a hair removal device and you start working hard to make your money back. This is a device that has no disposables. This is a device that works efficiently. This is a device that doesn't require maintenance like other devices. This is how this device allows med spas to essentially produce that gross revenue quickly and effectively. And so during some of the slides, delivering the results, again, you can see that back, delivering after 6 treatments. Some patients will say, well, what do you say? How many treatments do you promise a patient for a back or a leg? Treatments could be anywhere between, 4 treatments, 6 treatments, 8 treatments, 10 treatments. The key is not to overpromise and to explain to the patient that it does take multiple times in order to get the permanent results that they're looking for. Again, hair and acne are also always very associated. A lot of my patients come in and they're getting hair removal on their sideburns, their chin, their upper lip, because they're also getting inflammatory acne in those areas. So that's a very, very kind of effective treatment to do hair removal in areas where your patients are also prone to acne. And chest treatments, again, any area of the body can be treated essentially outside of the eyebrows. And another back. All right, so the clinical business tips to take away from this is that, first of all, the hair removal is always your gateway to easy sales towards other medical spa treatments. So patients will seek many treatments, such as the Botox and the fillers and other treatments, but your hair removal is a very strong part of it. If your hair removal is solid and it's good, you'll have lots and lots of patients. You'll also attract patients that you're looking for, such as millennials. Millennials need hair removal. They seek it all the time. Hair removal for men. Men are seeking back hair removal. It may be the only way, and the first way, in which they walk into your medical spa. And while they're there, you have the opportunity to cross-sell them on many other treatments that you provide. The other important thing is that this is the base of your success. Hair removal leads to other services, and those services could be more profitable. In my medical spa, Botox and fillers are extremely profitable. So if you do a treatment well, and if that treatment is painless and it's easy, those patients will come back for many treatments because you've now proven your credibility. All right, so the next technology we're talking about is by far, I would say, my patient's favorite and probably the top treatment that we've ever really had at Dolce Vida. We're talking about 5,000 cases a year for the last several years. This is the bread and butter of my medical spa, the Venus Freeze Plus. Okay. So, again, Venus Freeze Plus goes after the biggest market that there is, which is non-surgical skin tightening. And non-surgical tightening always has a high demand. As you can see, it's number 3 for women, number 2 for men. Always has growth each year. And, many patients may not be candidates or even want Botox or fillers. So they're looking for non-invasive skin tightening treatments. And if they exist and if they work, they become very successful in a medical spa environment. When using the Venus Freeze, there are 2 hand pieces. One is called the diamond polar and the octipolar. The diamond polar has 4 diodes, and the octipolar has 8. And the diamond polar handpiece is used for the face and neck and arms, and the octipolar is used for larger areas such as the abdomen, love handles, anterior posterior thighs, and the butt. The system has some special features in that it has an integrated thermometer and its applicators, preset treatment parameters, and again, as many other med spas see, that this is a very highly delegated procedure. And you would have to know your med spa laws in each state, but in some states, estheticians can perform this, some states, nurses can perform this, but this is something that is money being had in another room while I'm in another room doing Botox and fillers and other services. So with the diamond polar, as you can see, it's treated for the small treatment areas like we talked about: face, neck, décolletage, arms, etc. It's lightweight, very easy to use, and because of its small applicator, you're able to really get into the nooks and crannies that you need to. And especially on a face or a neck, it's very important to be able to get into those areas. And as you can see, there's a little thermometer that's integrated into the system, and this we'll go into a little bit more about how this essentially regulates the control of the temperature. The octipolar, as you can see, is larger surface area, 24 centimeters squared, for the faster and easier coverage of larger treatment areas, equipped also with the thermometer, the optimal control of the temperature. And there is a system in here really designed for safety, where it has this real-time thermal feedback and what they call the automatic temperature controller, the ATC, which we'll talk about a little bit further into the slides. And this thermal feedback in ATC is what's enhancing the patient's safety and comfort. It's also improving the ease of use for the operator, and leading to that predictable, consistent result. When you have different clinicians and different operators, and patients coming back and forth to the med spa, you want to make sure that the treatment they're getting is consistent from clinician to clinician. These types of safeties and key measures in the system are what essentially allow you to do that. So what is the real-time thermal feedback, and how does this work? Essentially, as you're treating the patient with these handpieces, you can use your ATC to set a specific temperature into the device to say that I'm looking to achieve, I want to go from 36 degrees Celsius, for example, to 39 degrees Celsius, and I want to maintain that temperature for the 25 minutes of my treatment. This ATC senses the temperature of the patient's skin, and as that temperature is too hot, it backs off the energy. If it's it's not hot enough, or it's too cold, then it increases the energy. In the past, with the old devices, you used to have to manually adjust this using a thermometer in your left hand, another hand to take the temperature. This greatly improved your ability to maintain a consistent temperature on the patient, and by doing so, you get better results with the patient. And so as you can see, it's the ATC. The set point there is 43 degrees. And you can see how the radio frequency temperature energy is at 50%, and the time frame. Now with the ATC set, now I don't have to manually adjust this constantly throughout the procedure. Also, what is Venus freeze? What's the technology within this? So, there have been past technologies such as monopolar, unipolar radio frequency. Radio frequency is flowing through the tissue in an uncontrolled manner between the active electrodes and the return pad. The energy delivery is deep, but it's unpredictable. And then bipolar radio frequency, the same thing. It's flowing between two electrodes on the treatment area. The energy delivery is predictable but superficial. The Venus freeze uses a special technology called multipolar radio frequency. And as you can see there, it's delivered in a unique algorithm using the 8 electrodes with homogeneous energy delivery. So this means that with your 3D heating, 3D penetration, there's going to be no hotspots. And you're going to basically have an easy, continuous overall therapeutic temperature throughout the treatment. I'm going to play the video here just so you can see essentially how that technology works.
Through their proprietary algorithms, MT synthesizers bring together both energies in multipolar radio frequency and pulsed magnetic fields of.
Okay. So in this slide, what you're seeing here is that look at the temperatures at 44.7 degrees Celsius on the left, 44.7 in the middle, 43.0 degrees Celsius on the right. The point of this is that as you're treating patients, you're having homogeneous heat distribution throughout the tissue. It is this homogeneous heat distribution that creates the collagen elastin recoiling and tightening that you need to tighten new skin and to improve elasticity in your patients. Also, besides having the multipolar radio frequency, it has another technology in it, which they call PEMF, or pulse electromagnetic fields. Magnetic fields generated when electrical charges carriers, such as electrons, move through space or with an electrical conductor. This technology has certain benefits, such as it triggers the FGF2 release, it induces fibroblast proliferation, and it promotes angiogenesis. And as you can see here is the angiogenesis. So again, just for the layman, what this means is it's basically inducing that fibroblast growth factors, it basically increasing blood circulation and triggering essentially a dermal injury with the fibroblast release. So Venus freeze plus is two technologies: multipolar radio frequency plus the PEMF, which is the electromagnetic technology. And so the 4 benefits to the patient are collagen remodeling, right, angiogenesis, lipolysis, and fibroblast proliferation. So what does this mean in real time? Imagine you have a patient who is in their 50s, 60s, 70s with a lot of elasticity, lots of jowling, crepiness around their skin, lots of crow's feet, etc. This is a patient who collagen remodeling will tighten that skin. The angiogenesis will help the skin glow and look more vibrant and youthful. And then fibroblast proliferation makes that skin, again, a little bit thicker, has more of the epidermal tightening element. When using this technology in places such as the abdomen, the love handles, the thighs, you also have the benefit of lipolysis. Now, lipolysis means that, again, you're going to have circumferential fat reduction in certain areas and a loss of fat in the belly, the love handles, the thighs. We use this all the time this way. There are many patients that we have that are not candidates for other technologies such as cool sculpting or other fat loss kind of techniques. And the Venus freeze essentially is really a good treatment for really most patients, which is great. All right, so final parts of it again. So it tightens the lax skin, reduces the wrinkles. It has a synergistic combination of the multipolar radio frequency and the PEMF. leading to that neocollagenesis and the fibroblast assimilation. It has a safety ability in terms of your clinician being able to be comfortable with it, being able to treat consistently with the patients. And like I said, this is a service that can be delegated to an esthetician, to a nurse, based upon your state laws. So here are some pictures of some of our patients at Dolce Vida. These are some of my favorite pictures. In very early stages of Dolce Vida, I really tried to perform all the treatments myself. I really wanted to get a sense of what this technology could do. As you can see in this thigh photo, this technology not only tightened the skin, but it really had circumferential reduction of the thigh, as you can see. And as you can see that gap between her legs, you know, in the right photo versus the left. Also note that this treatment was only within 5 sessions. Some patients require 4, some 5, some 8, some 10. But ultimately, the patients really got great results, even sometimes in early stages within the 5 sessions that we treated this woman. In this patient, again, there's only 3 sessions. Now, if you approach this patient with other modalities such as Botox, fillers, and other things, imagine the cost of filling her Marinette line, her nasolabial line, putting a cheek augmentation, doing a jaw profile with filler and Botox. All of this essentially was done for her at about $150 a session for 3 treatments. Look at the tightening that she had in her jawline. Look at her nasolabial line, Marinette line improved. Look at her skin tone and how that improved. Another patient where, again, circumferential reduction of the eyes, tightening of the outside and inside of her thigh, improvement over stretch marks, only in 6 sessions. Another patient in 7 sessions with cellulite improvement. We used the Venus freeze almost as our #1 treatment for cellulite. We combined the Venus freeze with other cellulite treatments such as sulfina, cellulase, and fillers, because the Venus freeze is the base of all cellulite treatments for our patients. We've had great results that way. Again, just a patient favorite is that the Venus freeze really tightens that neck, tightens the jowl. On the left photo, you can see that crepiness where her platysma bands are. On the right side, you can see her platysma bands so perfectly. We've been able to tighten that crepiness. She looks like she lost weight in the right photo, and yet all this was is just skin tightening and improvement over 6 sessions. And lastly, another patient of ours who really had a lot of bad plastic surgery, bad facial work, and basically didn't really have many options. Some patients, you know, there's just, you don't want to put more filler, you don't want to put more Botox to make it worse. And then you need just collagen elastin recoiling. And the Venus freeze did an amazing job on her. This photo doesn't even do justice of how well this patient looked after the Venus freeze was performed on her face and on her neck. And another, patient pet peeve is that elasticity within the inside of their arms, or essentially in the lower arm. The Venus freeze does a great job of tightening that type of crepiness and that type of elasticity in 6 sessions. So as far as the final clinical business tips, the Venus freeze, all the things we've ever done at Dolce Vida, and we have probably over 144 procedures here, is still the #1 treatment in our office. It's the base of essentially in our bread and butter of why patients come to Dolce Vida. The treatments, when performed, are painless. They feel like a hot stone massage. They're very relaxing. There's very little downtime, just mild pinkness. And so when the clinician is with the patient and they're sitting there for 30, 45 minutes performing these treatments on the patients, there is 30 to 45 minutes of a hot stone massage experience that the patient can be talked to about so many other treatments, Botox and fillers and lasers and all the other things that the medical spa offers. It really creates an opportunity for a great cross-sell. And the Venus freeze, we price them at $150 a treatment with no disposable costs. That means it's very profitable. You can do a package of 6 Venus freezes and just think about what that profit margin would be in comparison to using fillers where there's a large wholesale cost of that filler, or Botox where there's a large wholesale cost of Botox. typical treatments for our patients were typically 4 to 6 treatments in the face and neck and the arms, and I would say 6 to 8 in the abdomen, love handles, and thighs. And that's essentially what we saw over the years. All right, lastly, we're going to talk about a final technology, which is a new technology for Venus Concept called Venus Glow. This is a device that I don't have in my office yet, although I can tell you that after learning about it, I'll be purchasing it this week because it just makes sense. This is a device that is the most cost-effective dermal rejuvenation solution that is on the market at this time. So again, in the market overview, $283 million was spent on skin rejuvenation in 2018. 97% of patients were treated, were women. 60% of the market was 35 to 65 years old. In the natural pathways to the intradermal layers, the average adults have over 20,000 pores on their face. With the right key, these are 20,000 doors to dermal layers. And as the skin pores are well protected, you have dead cells, cells that are constantly dying inside the follicle and clogging the pore. And that's why, deep cleaning is so important. And again, small sizes, and you have sebum where it's screened by the sebaceous glands, providing another barrier to protect the skin, meaning that some of these pores are essentially hard to penetrate. If you look at the pathways to the inner skin layers, you can see that the total inner surface area of the duct wall is 6 times the outer skin surface area. And the dermal layer, where the collagen elastin fibers and the amorphous ECM are built, giving the skin its youthful appearance. So what they're doing here is they're basically scaling this down to scale up. So when referring to facial pores, they're considering that essentially it's 250 microns to 500 micron pores. So as you can see at the bottom, the Venus Glow has a patented tip that delivers 2 70 micron streams to fit well into the pore. So as you can see here, I'll play the video as I speak here, but there's a patented tip, and on the patented tip, it has 2 ultrafine jet streams. These jet streams are finer than an average strand of hair, and it only measures 50 to 70 microns, which is smaller than the average pore size, enabling the saline to effectively deep clean each pore. This is amazing. So the new approach to skin rejuvenation is, instead of using the common mechanism of skin injury, the Venus Glow is using the natural structures of the skin and working around that. So it's targeting the lumens of the pores to deep clean the skin purification, targeting the pores, keeping the skin surface protected and intact. It has a trigger of the wound healing mechanism without the wounding. The solution reaches the lumen, and it's doing so without generating that healing response, and it's triggering the skin rejuvenation process. You're enriching the tissue. The vacuum increases the local micro blood circulation, while the spinning tip micro massages the skin to increase the spread of nutrients, and it's revitalizing the skin. The wide selection of solutions can be used to revitalize the skin with antioxidants, vitamins, and PRP, etc. So as you can see, the Venus Glow will work with a one lightweight applicator that uses a trimodality dermal system consisting of a vacuum, a rotating tip, and the 2 ultrafine jet streams of saline. The vacuum gently pulls the skin to the top of the applicator to open up the pores by removing the impurities from the stratum corneum, and the level of the suction can be adjusted based on the patient's skin type. While the skin is being pulled upward, the tip is spinning 360 degrees to evenly spread the saline that the fine jet streams strongly expel. The vacuum increases the local micro blood circulation, while spinning the tip micro massages the skin to increase the spread of nutrients released from the bloodstream. This is really amazing. So what are the advantages of this technology? Is that it's affordable to own. It has very low consumables compared to competing technologies. The skin feels noticeably healthier and cleaner and more rejuvenated after each treatment without that downtime. It's comfortable treatments that are safe for all skin types without that downtime. And it's a simple device to use with fast and easy protocols to address the variety of the different skin needs that the patient will have. So the expectations are that brightening of dull skin, improving of the skin elasticity, improving of the uneven skin tone, moisturizing the skin, controlling the sebum, removing those nasty blackheads and whiteheads everyone hates, and enhancing the effectiveness of the post-treatment products and the complementary therapy. And again, this could also be used as a complementary treatment to other technologies. So this could be done as a pre-treatment skin preparation for the Venus Freeze or the Legacy, the Versa, or the Viva, or it could be done post-treatment after, those technologies such as the Velocity, Versa, and the Viva. So finally, on to the last thing, which is the most important thing, really, I feel, in terms of the relationship between the medical spa and the company. The Venus Concept advantage has been amazing for my practice. So quickly, I want to say is that early on in my business, when I started in 2010, I acquired some of my first Venus Concept devices in 2012, sometime in that area. This is the one company of all the companies, and there's a lot of companies that we've dealt with, who has really helped us grow our business. There are many businesses that sell you products, high financing charges, go to outside financing companies, and by the time that you pay the machine off, and by the time that you've made enough money to essentially even make some profit, ultimately you realize, God, this machine has really owned me. I've worked for this machine. Well, Venus Concept has a unique subscription acquisition plan, which is that they have a 0% financing in-house plan. And this is enormously important for med spas, especially med spas that are just starting, because when you essentially buy some of these machines from Venus Concept, you know that you're not paying all those extra financing charges. Those financing charges could be sometimes, 50% of the cost of the original machine. And you're already working to try to, again, build as much profit and make as much profit quickly as you can. Well, Venus Concept business model allows you to do that. They also have an incredible warranty program. They have wonderful, easy upgrades. They do a lot of marketing support and clinical education. This is a company that knows that making you stronger and making sure your clinicians are well educated means that it's success for them and for you. And so we've had such great partnership with this company over the years based upon that experience. So in the partnership, as you can see, it has that it's really one of the first and only subscription-based business models in the industry. And their technology is safe, effective, and it's affordable. And again, they give you that high level of post-sale support. When you need something, you call, they're there. You make a quick phone call. My handpiece is broken. We'll send you one out, send yours back. It's quick. I mean, this is a company that supports their devices and their applicators in a way that I've never seen another company. So this is a company that creates that true partnership and allows you to be profitable and allows your patients, more importantly than all things, to be happy, to be satisfied, and to really feel like, wow, this technology is working, and I'm so happy that I came to your medical spa, and I'm looking to do the next thing. And so I just want to, again, say that as my last slide here is that, Venus Concept will give you the ability to have business experts at your service, have those educational programs for your staff. They'll have clinic marketing, the operational profitable strategies, and they'll benefit you in terms of gaining the insights to help you optimize your entire business, increase that staff knowledge, acquire the essential tools, and give that knowledge to the staff with a lower turnover and better clinical outcomes. This means that you're going to become a more successful medical spa because you have a company working with you. And that is the end of my slide. So, Sharif, I'm going to pass it back to you.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm sorry I was on mute, guys. Thank you so much, Scott. We do have a couple of questions. And let me start with one question. What has been your experience like with group discount sites like Groupon? Do they offer a good overall return over investment for the business or for specific treatments?
Well, in terms of using, you're talking about in terms of Groupon or Living Socials, that type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So, for I would say like Dolce Vida was one of the first medical spas in my Connecticut, New York area to use Groupon. And what we learned with Groupon, obviously, is that it's not the best, wonderful thing to have because, unfortunately, you have to share a lot of money with Groupon. But I would say that it's been key to our success because it brought in a lot of patients. And if a patient came in and was introduced to some of the technologies such as the Venus freeze or the velocity and it went great, what happens is they just come back for all of those treatments and then more. And so I think that in this day and age, in the medical spa environment, I think that Groupons and living socials sometimes are a necessary evil, and especially are good for medical spas that are just starting out.
All right, thank you. The next question is, how often are you able to upsell extra treatment to customers coming for something specific?
Well, we do a lot of upsells both ways. So, for example, let's say a patient comes in for Botox and fillers, and we realize that patient has some elasticity, some jowling, some neck elasticity, some neckline, décolletage striae, anything like that. We immediately go in for the upsell for the Venus freeze because the Venus freeze is going to help them improve the results of the other things we're offering them, such as the Botox and fillers. And then vice versa, if a patient is not ready for Botox and fillers and they're starting with the Venus freeze, it might give them a little bit of confidence and strength to move through some of those treatments, become comfortable with the environment of the med spa in order to then start seeking and asking for larger services such as the Botox and fillers. So in both ways, it's highly successful.
All right, thank you. Next question is, what is the difference between Venus Versa MP square treatment and Venus Freeze MP square treatment, if any?
Again, just to clarify the question, so what's the difference between the Venus Freeze, right, versus what?
The Venus Versa, so the other product, Venus Versa, they also have, it also has an MP squared applicators. So the question is, what is the difference, if there is a difference?
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Venus Versa is a multimodality system that has an IPL handpiece, right? It has a Venus Viva, which is a nanotechnology kind of fractional resurfacing handpiece, as well as having the octipolar and the diamond polar applicator that's within the Venus Freeze Plus device. So essentially you're getting the Venus. Is that correct? Yeah. So it's the Venus Freeze devices plus getting all that other technology all within one system.
Perfect. Yes, that is correct. Thank you.
Okay.
So the next question is, for new business owners, would you recommend starting with hair removal or contouring?
Hair removal versus, let's say, the Venus Freeze?
Yes.
Okay. I would say that, I guess it really depends upon your clientele. If your clientele obviously is in the age range of, more the 40s, 50s, and 60s, then definitely you want to do, body contouring, skin tightening, and that would be the Venus Freeze. But if you're a med spa with a large millennial population and you want to build that millennial population, then you would go to hair removal. But, ultimately for any med spa, these are the two probably strongest technologies that you need. When my med spa started, all we had really was hair removal, Venus Freeze, Botox, and fillers, meaning that all the other technologies came after this. Those were the most important, facets of the growth of our business.
Okay, great. Thank you. So I think we do have one last question, and that is, what is the difference between Venus Glow and Hydrofacial MD?
Okay. So I'm able to answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay. So I can only speak in terms of my experience, because again, I don't have the flow yet here, but basically I can tell you that from what I've studied and what I research about the system, for me, in the way that I see it as a medical spa provider, is that the glow is basically not creating as much damage to the skin, to the corneal stratum, and it's basically it has that patented technology that allows you to really extract more out of the pores and clean the pores in a better way. The other important thing in a business sense is that it has a lower cost, and the disposables are a much lower cost than the hydrofacial, and therefore I have a hydrofacial machine in my practice. I can tell you that the biggest problem I've ever had with the device is that it has a very, very high disposable cost, sometimes to the point where the profitability is very low. So what I'm excited about this new technology with the Glow is that I can finally do that type of hydrofacial treatment on my patient, yet again, it'd be profitable also to my business.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't think we have more questions. Those were the questions. And Scott, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you everyone for your time. We will be sending the recording tomorrow. You will be receiving the link for the recording sometime tomorrow, probably before end of day. All right. Thank you so much, Scott. You're welcome.
Okay.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.